some kind of content marketing. All right? Oh, by the way, there's the short link if you want to get it, and I'll give you the slides on this as well. So you can get, it's all free, ungated research that you can get access to. Here's what makes me cry a little bit. So 42% say that they're effective. So 90% are doing this, and only 4 in 10 say that they're effective. So let me ask you this question. So for you 80% that are doing content marketing, how many of you know of, have some kind of a documented content marketing strategy for your organization? So let me see, raise of hands. Don't be shy. If you got one, raise your hands. It's all good. Looks like about 10. All right, so about 10, let's say about 10%. That's the biggest thing that we know from our research and what we found. The biggest determining factor for success in content marketing is actually having a strategy. So we have all these brands out there that are creating all this. There were blogs and tweets and podcasts and email newsletters and webinars and custom magazines and all this stuff. We're doing all kinds of content because we can. There's no barriers to entry anymore. We can all be publishers. But none of us have a strategic plan for creating and distributing that content, which is why you look at some of this content, you just have to shake your head and say, why are they doing that? And the answer is usually because they have no plan. So I would say to you, that's my hope. In the rest of this presentation, I'm going to sort of give you some of these resolutions that'll give you some ideas on how to start the planning process. All right. According to our research, about 40% say that they do, which I think is a high number. So the majority, according to our research, the majority do not have any kind of content marketing plan or strategy. So if this is the first thing. This is the first thing we've got to do, is we've got to figure out what's the why behind our content. Anybody see Simon Sinek speak ever? Start with Why, the book. Fantastic speaker, fantastic book. I love to start out with that because if you don't have an understanding of why you're creating this content, not your why, we'll get to that. But the first thing is we've got to figure out, why is our content even at all interesting or important to our customers? Because when we go into a brand and we talk to the smallest or the biggest brands out there, and we say, show me your content marketing. You know what it is? It's all about them. It's all about how great our products and services are, how we've got this great widget, how we won this award. That's not content marketing. That's just sales collateral, and there's a use for that. But for the most part, our customers don't care about that. So if you're going to figure out how you're going to break through with great information, you've got to figure out what interests your customers and fill that need for them. Just like a publisher would, just like a media company does. All right? So I'm going to give you some examples. We call this a content marketing mission statement. Just like the PD has an editorial vision or editorial mission statement, you and your brand, or if you're an agency for your clients, you have to start with this. What's the editorial mission? This is homemadesimple.com. Anybody familiar with this site? A couple people. Do you know who creates the site? Raise your hand. Do you know who does that? Not sure? Anybody know who creates the site? It's Procter & Gamble. Usually when you see it, you think, oh, it could be Martha Stewart, it could be Better Homes and Gardens. Looks like a publishing site, right? This is Procter & Gamble. You know what I love about this? We talk about consistency. They've been developing content for this site since 2003. You know, even better stat, they have more than 10 million subscribers to this content. 10 million people said, hey, I would like to get regular recipes and updates and how to be more organized in the home and all the other stuff that they're talking about. How'd you like that? Have 10 million people raise their hand and say, yes, Procter & Gamble, please send me more sales material. That's exactly what this is. This is marketing so good it doesn't look like sales. All right? So they have a content marketing mission statement. That what's the big why for them? All right, this is it. Enabling women to have more quality time with their families. What won't you find on this? You won't find anything for me. Not going to find anything for dads. Not going to find anything for kids. You're focused on women. That's their target. And they're focused on more organization in the home, quicker, more family time. So you're not going to see 6-hour recipes. You're going to see recipes that focus on this. So this is this filter that you need to have so that when you create an editorial calendar and a content calendar, you know if it's going to fit. It's got to fit this mission. All right, let me go through a couple other examples from Procter & Gamble. This is beanggirl.com. I have to be honest with you. I don't spend a lot of time on this site. There's a couple areas. I have 2 boys, 10 and 12, and there's a couple areas of the site that I frankly wouldn't click on. I was a little bit scared. So anyways, we'll move beyond this. Beanggirl.com, which by Forrester did an independent study, said this was 4 times as effective. This site was 4 times as effective as anything else that P&G has done to this audience. They have a content marketing mission statement as well. Here it is, enabling teen girls to be more confident with their bodies. All right. So here's another Procter & Gamble example. I don't know how many of you have seen this. This is manofthehouse.com. I'm much more comfortable on this site. And you can see this says, right there, it says 5 weird facts about your wife's brain. I looked at that. I spread it to all my friends. We were having a great time with it. So they have a content marketing. Any ladies want to guess what the content marketing mission statement is for this one? I know you're like, what could it be? All right, here it is. So this is the portion of the presentation when we talk about setting realistic content marketing mission statements. Right? This can't be done. Guys, we know it. Don't improve us. It's not going to happen. No, I jest, but the reason why I like this example is they killed this site. They killed this site after 18 months. Now think about this. Think about it from an advertising standpoint. We're all advertising experts here, right? Or hopefully we're marketing experts. 18 months in an advertising campaign, that's a long time, right? It's a long campaign. Content marketing, short. Not long enough in most cases. This is the problem. This is why we want that immediate ROI, and for the most part, you're not going to get it. Because it takes a while to create a long-term relationship with your customers. You're going to do that through content. You're going to break through that clutter. You're not going to do it with anything. Somebody says viral video to me, and I just laugh. Viral happens after 1,000 pieces of amazing content, usually. All right? So that's why I showed that example. For you B2B folks, I won't leave you out because I know we got a lot of B2B folks in the audience. This is Indium. Indium Corporation manufactures industrial solders. How sexy is that? So you people that think you have a boring product, this is about as boring as it gets, right? They have 17 engineers that blog on a regular basis answering questions about industrial solders. Here's their mission statement. We want to make sure we're going to help engineers. We're helping engineers, not CEOs, not plant managers. This is our target, engineers. What are we doing? If they have any questions about industrial solders, we want to answer that. Even the most complicated ones, they want to be the resource. What did it do in the first 12 months? They increased leads by 600%. It's revolutionized their business. If you walk into Indium, you'll see these mission statements around. It's changed everything with their culture. Because what they want to do is say, if we can be helpful to our customers, we will sell more. And that's exactly what they've done. So it's become the center of everything they do. So if you think about it from a goals standpoint, what's your goal? Do you have search engine goals? Do you have lead generation goals? Do you have social media goals? I mean, we have to be interesting and helpful in social media to make impact. It starts with this content strategy. It starts with that in the middle, just like a media company would, just like a publisher does. The difference is that if I'm the PD here, I'm trying to get revenue through advertising sales, sponsorship sales, or direct content sales. You don't do that. You're trying to get sales off of creating more customers and more prospects and selling more to them. But the content is the same, can be the same. All right, so I want you to work through this and create this content marketing mission statement. I'm not going to go through this too long, but I want, even if it's on a cocktail napkin, if you're going to start with your content marketing strategy, you have to start here. And by the way, we have lots of these. I just showed you 3 from Procter & Gamble. No one company, for the most part, has one content marketing strategy. You have many little ones, depending on who your target audience is. Because you've got to, I mean, if you're Procter & Gamble and you're going to have one content marketing strategy, how many different types of customers does Procter & Gamble have? Hundreds. Hundreds. That's why it's so hard to do that. It's not mass media. It's very ultra targeted, ultra niche. I'm going to show, anybody get Inc. magazine? I love it. I'm an entrepreneur. I love Inc. magazine. I get giddy when it comes in print in the mail. I love to get that. They have an editorial mission statement. It's right on their About Us page. It's a great example for you and your content marketing mission statement. Welcome to Inc., a place where entrepreneurs and business owners can find useful, valuable information to help run and grow their businesses. There's 3 parts to this that I want you to take away. So here's the 3 things I need you to do for either your business or for your clients. One is, who are we talking to? You've got to be super specific. I don't know if you get into buyer personas, but you should have, this goes to one buyer persona. It doesn't go to two usually. Now they made it to two. They have two personas. One's an entrepreneur and one's a business owner because they define the needs as similar enough that they could do one content marketing strategy to those two groups. So you have to make a decision. Sometimes you can do two. Rarely have I seen three. Most of the time it's one. Who's your target? Entrepreneurs and business owners. What are we going to deliver? Useful. Read any piece of content in Inc. magazine, you know what you get? It's something that's useful and ties to the most important thing, the outcome. Everything I read in Inc. magazine is supposed to help me become more profitable as a business or grow my business. So what I would like you to do, take your content and print it out. We do this as an exercise. They call it a visual content audit. Print out your content, and that means even like your blog posts, your social media posts, and print them out and put them on the table and get your executives and your marketing team around it. And just engage in it. Is it helpful? Is it interesting? Is it targeted to the people you're trying to target? I think you will learn a lot just from that exercise. I've done it about a dozen times, and every time we go in, we're like, I can't believe we've been shoveling this crap out to our customers. Because most of the time, there's a sales and marketing goal behind that content, and we're always shoving something salesy in there. And if we're going to shove something salesy in there, it's not going to be shared, it's not going to travel. It's not going to help our goals. And by the way, there's a time for that. There's a time for sales collateral. But you got to remember that only 2% of that buying cycle are they actually ready to buy. Most of the time, they're trying to learn, trying to find out, trying to choose who the right ones are. What do we do during that time? They're not typing our name into Google, they're typing other things into Google. So figure out what that outcome is, really super important, and how we can be that helpful. Here's some low-hanging fruit for you, resolution. And I'll give you a story around just publicly answering our customers' questions. Anybody know this gentleman? Mr. Marcus Sheridan? Let me see you raise a hand just so if you know. Okay, so for those of you who know, you probably know the example, but I'm going to share his story because it's a brilliant story and I love talking about it. Marcus Sheridan is a pool guy. He is the owner, CEO of River Pools and Spas. They're in Warsaw, Virginia. He installs fiberglass pools. And in 2007, I don't know if everybody remembers 2007 and 2008, what kind of an environment was that for selling fiberglass pools? Not very good, right? So I talked to Marcus about it, and he said, look, we didn't even know if we could make payroll. It was getting so bad. Let alone, he wasn't even the leader in his market. He's the 5th largest in his market. 4.5 million in sales, that was number 5. Spent $250,000 on advertising. I talked to Marcus, and Marcus said, look, we didn't even have any more money. We couldn't make payroll. I couldn't spend any more money on advertising. It was mortgaging the house. It was horrible. He didn't know what to do. How do you get out of there and actually sell more fiberglass pools when everybody's returning their deposits, which is what was happening to him. So I'm going to go to 2011. I'm going to tell you what happened in between. 2011, he not only sold more fiberglass pools than anyone in Virginia, he sold more fiberglass pools than anyone in the country. Think about that. Went from 5th in his market in Warsaw, Virginia, to selling more than anyone. He lowered his advertising spend from $250,000 to $40,000. I know us ad people are not, oh, that's not good. But I'll get to the, yeah, I know what you're thinking. Won 15% more bids and cut sales cycle in half. What did he do? What was the difference? So Marcus said, we created the most awesome swimming pool blog on the planet. What did he do? All he did was, he made a list and worked with his team and just put together all the questions he got from his customers that nobody on the web was answering. And you know, let me ask you this. Anybody bought a pool? I know we're not big pool people in Cleveland. Okay. What's the first question you had when you bought a pool? How much does it cost? That's exactly right. You know, if you type in how much does a fiberglass pool cost, let's say you did that in 2007, you got nothing. You got nothing but Google ads and just stuff that wasn't going to answer your question. And that's what you wanted to know. And he said, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity. Nobody's answering that question. What if we answered that question? And he did that. He answered that question and every other question you could think of and started to just answer people's questions. And it took a while because when he started here in 2008, he was hearing crickets. Took a long time. But then, oh,